Welcome to another However, Comma, the show
Kristie
that...
Noem was finally fired.
Well, reassigned, technically.
Yeah, but it was to a position that did not exist 2 weeks ago, so you do the math.
Yeah, seems maybe redundant, like something that the Doge program would have sought to eliminate. Calm down. And we discussed the not war with Iran. Is there a strategy here, or...
Yeah, like, are we just vibe bombing our way through this, or...
I don't know the answer to that, Jess, but hey, POTUS doesn't seem to know either.
Well, neither does the defense secretary.
Or anyone in Congress, for that matter.
Yes, I would maybe perhaps explain why. That this is going to hurt, and we have to bear it because...
And the Save America Act? More like the Save Me from Impeachment Act, am I right? All right.
Check right. There's this thing called nuance, and I just...
Finally, how do you solve a problem like social media?
I think your boyfriend Jonathan Haidt has some decent suggestions.
I mean, well, these laws that have come into being are largely because of the research of Jonathan Haidt. Like he is someone who has changed the world in the most literal sense. Well, sure, but Jonathan Haidt is not my... Okay, she's lying, Scott Galloway. Don't listen to a word she says. I live and breathe the Scott Galloway universe. I can point you to my YouTube history right now. Number one show, Raging...
Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Jack Brett.
We're neurodivergent besties on either side of political center.
Join us as we inexpertly debate and fact-check our way to some kind of agreeance.
Or at least an understandment.
Let's get into it.
I don't have any non-political stuff or things today.
I'll
Straight into
steal-
All Steel No
Yeah,
Straw.
sure. All Steel No Straw. Cue the music. This will be good.
Kristi Noem is gone.
Yay!
And I'm so happy.
The joke that I thought of was, she must have left Trump's jacket on the plane or something.
Yeah. I did not watch the hearing.
Oh boy.
I meant to, but didn't. But apparently it went really bad.
Yeah, well, the sort of exchange that is being most credited with leading to her firing is that with Louisiana Senator John Kennedy, not that Kennedy, obviously, the very southern-sounding guy who's famous for saying things like, "I love eggs better than sex."
Okay.
I love omelets. I love them better than sex. Just like really cringy, creepy Southern aphorisms are like, nervous as a pregnant nun. Senator Kennedy from Louisiana asked then Secretary Noem about some $6 billion budget that was used to shoot ads with, I don't know if they were like ICE recruitment or, but they featured Kristi Noem in several stages of cosplay, including a cowgirl on a horse, and apparently like the price tag was kind of flabbergasting to Senator Kennedy, and he asked,
the president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million running TV ads across the country in which you are featured prominently.
And Kristi Noem replied,
Yes.
He did?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
and Kennedy replied that
It's just hard for me to believe, knowing the president, as I do, that he would have agreed to that.
and I guess that is indeed not the case, or at least Trump contests that he approved any such budget for any such project. And that makes sense. I mean, these ads kind of highlighted Kristi Noem.
The freedom only America provides. I'm Kristi Noem.
Stands to reason that he would not approve $6 billion for her to like stroke her own ego.
Are you saying billion with a B?
That would be a very high price tag, wouldn't it?
That's ridiculously high for ads.
Let's just make sure real quick that I am not misquoting that. I could be conflating that. You know what? I think that number is what the Iran war has cost us this far. I don't know if the two numbers are the same, but let me ask the perplexity. 220 million. That's considerably less than 6 billion.
Considerably less, but still quite high.
Yeah, high enough to raise some eyebrows, apparently. But yeah, I mean, that was Trump's stated reason for firing Kristi Noem is disagreement about who approved the budget. But this kind of like feels as though it's a firing that he's wanted to do for a while because of all the negative press that Kristi Noem has generated for his administration, and
Yeah.
the fact that she had a soft landing. And what is it? What? So Kristi Noem was reassigned to serve as special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, which I guess is a new Western Hemisphere security initiative.
Huh?
Well, my take is it's a complete, bullshit position that didn't exist 2 weeks ago and had to be created so that Kristi Noem leaving the administration would not be met with like a bunch of offers to her for book deals, wanting to betray Donald Trump and tell all as many of the disgraced cabinet members from his first administration had done. I think maybe he learned his lessons and has done his best to, if he is going to fire somebody, to give them a soft landing. So I imagine Bondi will be next.
So here's the thing. Apparently, Pam Bondi has worse numbers than Kristi Noem. And has for a while.
Approval numbers?
Yeah.
That does not surprise me.
But he didn't get rid of her after her atrocious showing at the Judiciary Committee meeting.
Yeah.
She has been called in front of the Oversight Committee again.
Oh, has she?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
There's not a date set for it yet, but she has been called. And so that means not just Thomas Massie, but Nancy Mace and Lauren Boebert and all the people on the Oversight Committee are going to be asking her some questions. I'm going to watch the shit out of that.
Oompa, loompa, doompity, dawsome. Hopefully we'll be singing, Pam Bondi is now gone, which is totally awesome next week. But
yeah, we'll see what happens. I wonder if she's going to bring her burn book. I wonder if she's going to talk about the Dow. I hope somebody asks her about it.
You seem to think that this was relevant information at the last Epstein-related hearing. So what's the latest on the Dow?
What's the latest?
And to remind everyone in the court, let the record show the last time it was 50,000. Now go. But yeah, at least there is a threshold. There is like a breaking point. You can be so bad at your job that even Donald Trump will fire you.
Yeah. Shield against drug trafficking, organized crime, and other cross-border security threats. We already have all of these things.
Yeah, I guess it couldn't hurt to have a little more. I don't know. Yeah, seems maybe redundant, like something that the Doge program would have sought to eliminate. Calm down. I know that's triggering. Any talk of budget?
Oh my God! You have created a redundant thing that is going to require funding.
I wonder what it pays. I mean, if she gets paid more than she was getting paid.
Yeah. Hey, are all government employees' salaries available?
That's a good question.
Because if not, put that on my ballot for presidency.
Make that all public.
If you work for the government, your salary is publicly searchable.
Yeah.
If your paycheck comes from taxes, we all should know how much you get. Because we're cutting you the check. So we should know.
And if you're sucking at your job and making more than I do, then, well, I'm probably going to do everything I can to vote out whoever appointed you. I was already going to do that, though.
All right. Gotta get on this. Gotta get on this.
Term limits and full salary transparency. And maybe for affordability. Well, you fixing Social Security actually is your kind of thing. Affordability is the topic that's on most Americans' minds that doesn't seem to be part of your platform.
Affordability?
Yeah.
My whole plan to shunt everything back to the states as much as possible helps with the affordability because you're no longer paying as much in federal taxes. And so you get to decide what to do with that money.
I mean, the state-run program that was just offloaded from the feds, you're not paying into that at the federal level anymore, but aren't you just paying into it at the state level now?
Well, they'd have to raise your taxes in order to cover what was being covered.
Right. So you're just...
And that's up to you to vote your people in or out.
Oh.
The end.
Depending on how good a quality you want this program to be, I suppose.
Yeah. Leave it up to your local people because that's how it should be anyways. All I'm saying is the federal government is way too large. And I'm sick and tired of people on the right who say that and then vote against everything that would help with that.
Why are they saying one thing and doing another, Jess?
Well, tradition mostly.
The primaries are crucial. We can get everybody involved in primaries.
I don't think I've ever voted in a primary. That's my shameful admission.
How dare, Jack Brett?
How absolute dare. I mean, it's the only election, or the only election that really matters.
Yeah, because everybody in your state is blue.
Yeah. I mean, am I worried that these seats are going to turn red? I am not.
You are not. Yeah, the primary is the election. No, I also am not as good as I should be about that.
How dare.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so I would give all the money back as much as possible. I would shrink the hell out of that man. That's how you affect affordability. You give people back more of the money they're already earning.
I mean, when there's factors like the Iran war threatening some of the largest producing oil refineries, and the price of oil just skyrocketing, that's going to affect everything. Whether or not we keep these programs at the federal or state level. There's just that's a factor affecting affordability that your plans don't seem to do anything to address.
Yeah, I wouldn't be at war with Iran.
Wouldn't you?
Me personally.
Well, or maybe if you were, would you maybe have some reason?
Yes, I would maybe perhaps explain why that this is going to hurt and we have to bear it because the guy basically told the oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, grow a pair and get it done.
It sounds like something he'd say, just audacious AF, but it was audacious to suggest that John McCain was not a war hero because he was captured.
He's basically just telling the oil tankers, what are you, chicken? Also, there's another post I saw that says, former Bush National Security Advisor and Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice seen entering the White House, and someone replies, oh, we're going to war. So I don't know what information they have. It might just be that they knew exactly where that one dude was going to be and took the opportunity.
Well,
Perhaps.
Someone did mention that it was a really stupid move for Iran, like in the wake of all this, all these murmurs from the West about a full-scale attack, that they would convene so many of their heads of state in one place, which is what happened, what they did, and how we were able to bomb the now deceased Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei. So yeah, but that's a criticism of Iran's strategy. I guess it doesn't do anything to really justify why Trump took this move without congressional authorization. I mean, I agree that the Constitution does allow the president to act unilaterally as commander-in-chief of the armed forces in cases where like there's a credible immediate threat against the U.S., like some intelligence that not everyone is privy to. The president is the only one who can make that decision. And I believe that's what he's invoked as his justification here, but it was, maybe he just didn't want to risk Congress saying no. I mean, if he had sought approval and gotten it, he could have done the same thing with the cloud cover if it went badly. But now it's just the decision is his and his alone.
Yeah, but in that instance, I would be the dumbest person on the planet to tell Congress, hey, I plan to hit this base with all this nuclear stuff because they're about to be able to make one. And then Congress takes, a week to fucking talk and decide? And in that week, those people have moved all their shit out. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It makes perfect sense that the president should have the ability to, if you find this information out, do an immediate strike. My opinion.
All right. I guess
Biden did it. Obama did it. It's not a Trump-only thing.
It's not exactly unprecedented in American presidential history.
Correct.
I'll buy that. Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but seeking congressional approval doesn't necessarily mean the matter goes public, right? I mean, there are a lot more people that learn about it, and so the risk of somebody's loose lips sinking our ships, it goes up. But I don't think that like seeking congressional approval means that we're in danger of alerting the enemy necessarily.
Are you saying they'd have a vote in private and not tell anybody?
Yeah, isn't that a thing that happens?
Great question. Let's see.
Perplexity.
Secret sessions are rare. Both the House and Senate can meet in closed secret session for matters of national security, but that requires a specific motion and vote to close the doors. So even that, that alerts you, something's about to happen.
Yeah. I mean, in the case of the full-scale attack, I think that makes sense, but I think your logic makes sense in a scenario where it is the one facility that is enriching this uranium. You could simply, I don't know how simple it would be to move that infrastructure, but time would be a factor. There is a non-zero amount of time that this could be done in, and as soon as the info becomes public, it stands to reason that Iran would start taking actions.
It could also be whatever intel we got on what was going down, they realized we got that intel and immediately started moving everything out. So we have to fucking do it. We don't have time to wait for you.
Yeah, I can dig that. And that action didn't seem to have much in the way of retaliatory consequences. This one seems messier, but also less sensitive when it comes to keeping it secret. This seems like the Perplexity said, the sort of thing that we want to typically handle multilaterally. We want this to be a concentrated effort from the allied forces who all agree that Iran's oppressive human rights violations are no bueno with any of us.
Maybe that's why they did it like that, was because all those people were going to be together in one spot for some dumbass reason, and hey, we got to do this. And there's another meme that says, torpedoes be the only pedos the U.S. government is willing to fire.
That is some nice wordplay right there.
Most excellent.
The only other thing I had about Iran was, are you aware of this bombing of a school?
Yes.
The story is that there has been a Tomahawk missile that landed on a children's school and killed many students, I think in the hundreds, as well as several teachers.
165 last time I checked.
165 bodies. Tomahawk missiles, the facts of the case are basically the footage that's been released so far The projectile looks a lot like a Tomahawk missile, the likes of which only the United States has. It's not a garden variety sort of weapon that Israeli forces would have. So it sure looks like our own people, either intentionally or otherwise, bombed this target. The administration has given their typical non-denial sort of denial, I don't think that doesn't sound like us. I don't think we'd do that. But we're going to look into it very strongly and bigly, and good. The sort of delay this issue for all of eternity. We'll just we'll call that the Epstein answer.
Yeah.
That is my kind of perception of the case. Do you know any more details? Do you have an opinion?
The only other details that I know / this is what I've learned, because I don't know if I necessarily know it, But do we know anything? No, I'm not going down that road. Okay. There is an IRCG or IRCB, some sort of missile site directly next to the school. That is supposed to have been the target.
Makes sense.
I did hear a rumor that it was a misfired IRCG missile, but that has since been, clearly debunked. We have images, etc. Yes, we are the only ones who have Tomahawk missiles that we know of. I believe we do sell old things to people. There's a meme that's missiles firing from two different cities at each other, and one's labeled tax dollars, and this one's labeled somehow also my tax dollars. It's pretty relevant. Feels real relevant right now.
Yeah, I guess if we were going to send our top of the line equipment to other countries that may become hostile to us, then wow, why are my tax dollars funding their technology boosts?
Yeah. I do think no one intended to hit that school. I do think this is why I'd get rid of Pete Hegseth first.
Yeah, I mean, whether he had anything to do with it, this happened on his watch. Good reason as any to, wave goodbye to that douche nuzzle.
But I think it is important to find out how this happened specifically. You need to do an investigation. Yeah. I know you're saying you're doing one, but you need to actually do one. And that report needs to be made public. The public should get to know exactly how this mistake was made and how you intend to make sure this doesn't happen again, or at least the probability of it happening again is significantly lower. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yeah, no. I would agree that it seems very unlikely. If for no other reason than Trump would absolutely hate that publicity. Even if this was the most vain, self-interested Epstein distraction war effort you can imagine, there's nothing to be gained by targeting a children's school instead of a missile facility. So yeah, I don't think anybody intended to do that.
It also doesn't help that the extremists in that region tend to put their weaponry near or under things like this.
You think that was intentional?
Because they're cowards that they famously use their own people as shields.
So by that logic, you would say that the placement of this missile facility so close to the children's school, that was intentional on the part of Iran.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Yeah, because now look what's happened, and they have all the justification in the world to go do all the things they want.
I mean, if I am the parent of one of those kids, or maybe a brother who just graduated out of that school or something, consider me radicalized against the U.S., especially given the president and the secretary of war are not owning this. basically claiming, "Oh no, I think that was Israel. Israel did it, but we're investigating."
Yeah, I mean, it is totally possible that we gave Israel some weaponry that looks like our shit, or just is our shit.
In which case, it would be Israel coming to the mic and claiming that little boondoggle. Wait, am I using
Boondoggle?
Yeah, what does boondoggle
Yeah,
mean?
what is boondoggle?
Boondoggle is usually a colorful plated or braided cord craft, often called a gimp or Scooby-Doo. Created by weaving plastic lacing or boondoggle is a project that is considered a waste of both time and money. That's the context we typically use it
There
in.
we go.
In which case I was not correct. I mean, it may fit the definition of boondoggle, but no, I meant like this brain fart or this oh god, how ironic would it be if AI was responsible for that?
I mean, that's the whole reason Anthropic was like, no autonomous weapons. It's literally the whole reason. So if it turns out to be that AI fucking did this noise.
Yeah. Anthropic is, well, I mean, he's being hailed, at least by the Scott Galloway universe, as the hero we didn't know we needed. Like,
Yes.
for standing up to this administration and absolutely refusing to have Anthropic decide to release weapons.
Yep.
Or to mass surveil American citizens. Anthropic's stock has benefited from this.
Yeah, I went and purchased a Claude.
Yeah. Scott Galloway has, as part of his resist and unsubscribe movement, he said, "I've drilled into your heads all of the businesses that you should cancel your membership, but here is one that you should increase your membership."
Yep.
Yeah, or buy a membership if you don't have one yet, and that is Anthropic.
It works both ways.
Capitalism. Your dollar's at work, baby.
Yep. I don't have any other like major pressing political stuff or things.
Me neither.
The voter ID thing was the only relevant right now thing that I could think of.
Are we talking about the Save America Act?
The SAVE Act, yeah.
SAVE Act. Let me just bone up real quick. The proposed SAVE Act aims to require documentary proof of U.S. citizenship for federal voter registration. Core requirements: voters must provide documents like a passport, birth certificate with photo ID or real ID indicating citizenship, not just a standard driver's license, military ID, or tribal ID alone, every time they register or update a registration. This applies nationwide for federal elections, overriding state procedures, and mandates in-person submission in many cases, effectively ending most online mail-in and third-party registration drives used in 42 plus states. Pew and Gallup polling show around 83-84% of Americans favor requiring a government-issued photo ID to vote, with support from large majorities of Republicans, Independents, and a smaller but still majority share of Democrats. So it sounds like there's a lot of support for this thing, like for the general principle of requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote at least once. Yeah, I think requiring citizenship, I'm not opposed to that. Any bill that is supported by Trump and is liable to have the effect of suppressing a certain demographic of voters, my Trump derangement syndrome is going to start blaring and tell me that there cannot be a legitimate reason for this. Or, I mean, if there is a legitimate reason, that is not the reason that Trump is supporting this bill. I feel like he, whether legitimate or not, I mean, the same goes kind of for the Iran strike. Like, many strategists agree that this, if there was a time to cut the head off of Iran's regime, this is it. I see this move, even if it is the right one, I don't think he's doing it for the right reasons, especially with the mail-in ballot thing. Like, that was the very factor that cost him the 2020 election, as he sees it, because, you know, there was a thing called the Red Mirage where he would appear to be ahead until the mail-in ballots were all counted. Even before then, it was largely believed that mail-in ballots would generally come from Democrats who were more afraid of going out amid the virus. And so, indeed, that's what happened. He had a commanding lead around the end of Election Day, but then as the mail-in ballots were counted, that lead disappeared. And so, like, the fact that he's making it harder to vote by mail, that also kind of raises my TDS alarm bells and tells me that, yeah, he's just trying to rig the midterms perhaps in his favor.
How does this SAVE Act make mail-in ballots harder to do?
Mail voters would have to include a printed copy of their voter ID, both when they request an absentee mail ballot and again when they return the completed ballot. So it just makes it harder. It's just, it's something that I don't own a photocopier. I mean, I could probably just like take a picture and have print out a PDF at my local Kinko's, or no, not Kinko's, FedEx.
Or your library.
Yeah, there's more steps. So like, not that it's not a perfectly just thing to ask that, we prove our citizenship to register a vote. But if it has the effect of voter suppression of a certain group of people, namely like those who don't have time to take a few extra steps to prove their citizenship because they are working 20 hours a day at several jobs to put food on the table, and minorities are very overrepresented in that demographic.
The strain it would cause the minority community is the reason the Democrats are super against it for the most part. To which I say, you shouldn't be voting against the SAVE Act because it's hard for them to get an ID. You should be making it easier to get an ID. That's the idea.
Yeah, I could see that. As far as like the overarching question of whether it is important to me that you are an American citizen, if I'm going to be comfortable with you voting in our elections, I don't know that it is. Like, I think participating in the economy, like contributing in a positive way to the economy, which most undocumented immigrants do, I see that as earning your keep more so than if you took the time to get the right paperwork. I mean, like that's why we want to encourage immigration here of the sort of people that will be a boon to society, and like these folks are a boon whether or not they have the right documentation. So like that lack of legal papers should prohibit them from participating in the democratic process. I don't know that the cons outweigh the pros there necessarily, but I could be convinced otherwise.
I do keep hearing that argument of let's let undocumented people who haven't done any crime other than crossing the border stay and just do their thing. Mm-hmm. What could it harm? is a lot of what I'm hearing. I think there's a politician out there that has a plan for these non-criminal, undocumented immigrants that I really enjoyed and wanted to look more into. I wish I had that information handy. I do not.
So look up.
That I will take that as an action item. I will say that I feel bad for the people who are trying to do it the right way, because they've spent a lot of time and effort trying to become a genuine American citizen, and these people are just gonna
jump the line.
Yeah. You know what? Hang on. How would turning every undocumented immigrant that has not committed any crimes and is only contributing to their community into a legit citizen be negative for the United States overall? Critics argue this policy would dramatically increase net costs by enabling full access to welfare, Social Security, Medicare, and other entitlements currently restricted to undocumented individuals, which is absolutely true.
Oh, I see.
You would immediately have a giant rush of people able to pull from these benefits, but it could be argued they are paying into the benefits.
Yeah.
Theoretically, because there's some people that are here that are paid under the table.
Yeah, more than some.
Yeah, more than some.
I imagine. I imagine that's like a pretty prominent issue.
Legalization could increase labor supply in low-skill sectors, potentially depressing wages for native low-income workers who compete directly. Don't they already do that?
I guess, yeah, just like they would be kind of empowered to come out of hiding, like they are citizens now. They can compete out in the open.
Yes, it could also signal weak enforcement.
Signal weak enforcement of immigration laws.
Yes, thus causing a mass influx of.
Yeah, okay, makes the sense.
So there are potentially negative things that should be considered, but
I guess I wasn't considering the notion of like making them full citizens, entitled to like the benefits and everything, and that that does have its share of potentials for disruption.
Yeah, I definitely don't understand the people that are like, well, who's gonna pick your fruit? Because I'm like, yes, people would not pick fruit unless they were paid a wage that they agreed to, and thus the wage would have to be higher because free market.
You can't get cheap labor by taking advantage of the fact that someone's not a citizen anymore. I mean, that's not a good practice. We shouldn't be encouraging a system that encourages that sort of practice, that where like certain labor is worth less because it is occupied by people with nowhere else to go. That's bad capitalism.
Bad capitalism.
Oh.
All that to say, I barely know much about it, but I do not see why you shouldn't be forced to prove you're a citizen in order to vote. Yeah. But we shouldn't nationalize elections. Are you sure?
Thank you. That is one idea that Trump has had that is a bona fide stinker.
Good Lord. That is the dumbest. We need to be giving less power. Why are they taking more power? Stop it. Stop it. I'd love to just see one politician take away power from the government. Just one. Just one. I'm worried because I heard somebody say something about horseshoe politics. Have you ever heard of this?
Refresh my memory.
Basically, it's where the extremes of both sides only agree on one thing, and that thing is that we're past the point of no return. Violence is the only answer.
Horseshoe because of the shape of like the everybody, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I blame a combination of cable news and social media. The Mark Zuckerbergs and Tim Cooks of the world, who, as Scott Galloway described it, are basically standing outside of our kids' playgrounds, passing out this very, very addictive thing that's going to ruin their lives.
I like the people who are trying to do laws where you can't have social media until you're a certain age, like an adult.
Yeah.
They're treating it like alcohol, like only adults should be able to have this particular privilege in society.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I don't disagree with it.
Oh, I absolutely. I mean, well, these laws that have come into being are largely because of the research of Jonathan Haidt and his book, The Anxious Generation, which is a really shines a damning light on social media as the catalyst for like such a wave of teen anxiety and insecurity and suicide. Yeah. It happened around the same time on 4 separate continents. The only thing they have in common is their access to Wi-Fi. So like, it's kind of as close to a smoking gun as there could be, that social media is responsible, and it's the algorithm of you, or well, it's I mean, whistleblower testimony has shown that the Facebook algorithm has been designed to maximize engagement, which has been most effectively done by maximizing outrage, by giving you something that is going to make you angry. I believe that has a lot to do with why many online Americans fall into the camp of there's no civil dialogue left to be had with these animals on the other side. We must simply throw bullets at the problem.
Yeah, I agree with the laws that force you to prove your age for pornography and all these things. Like, that makes sense to me.
And by prove your age, more than just clicking yes to are you over the age of 18?
Yes, more than just the honor system.
I want to meet the kid who actually clicks no in this dialogue box.
That could be a fun, cute little skit. Just a kid that's like really excited, unpacks his computer, goes to this website that all of his friends have been talking about, then sees the agreement and goes,
well, dang it. It's in a dialogue box.
what am I going to do?
That's a sacred bond.
I don't know. I'm sure some people already have a way to identify, but like, I wonder if that's too invasive or...
So, like, if these platforms are so sophisticated that they know exactly what to market to me at which time, who have thought in terms of like, well, this girl has just deleted a selfie of herself. Maybe this is a good time to market beauty products to her to improve her self-image. You cannot convince me that with all of the data points that you know about me, that you have not learned that I am below the age to be on this platform. So, like, maybe use that sophisticated algorithm of yours to rule out some of your candidates from the pool.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Anything that makes the businesses responsible and not the taxpayer.
And I think there is some legislation like that on the table. I mean, I really think that Jonathan Haidt has achieved legendary status with this book and how many new laws it has affected worldwide. I mean, I think Australia was first, but UK is like following suit. Like, there's so many places based on his research who are adopting these sort of laws.
Yeah.
Like, he is someone who has changed the world in the most literal sense.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite movie where the villain wins?
Ooh.
Gonna be some spoilers.
Interesting question. It's a toss-up between the two that you always get confused with one another.
Damn, really? I didn't realize the bad guys won in those. Oh shit! Me sad.
I guess it's a spoiler for the one that you haven't seen. But you'll have to let me give it some thought.
That's fair.
Do you have an answer?
Yeah, it's Fallen.
Ooh, that's a good answer. Because that is like a very unexpected villain win right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you don't realize it till the very
end. And you're it's like a double twist because you're celebrating the hero, the Denzel Washington's ingenuity in finally, trapping this demon for the first time in thousands of years, and only for him to show, look at that, I can transfer into a fucking cat or whatever.
Yeah. I'll tell you about the time I almost died.
Yep. And it's a flip the script on who's narrating this whole story to us too.
Yep. Did you have any topics in mind you'd like to just randomly discuss?
Was the Jim Carrey thing ever resolved?
Oh, so there's a conspiracy theory going around saying the Jim Carrey that walked out of the French award thing that he was there for, 1000% is not Jim Carrey. he's either been cloned or brainwashed. Maybe or maybe not by the Illuminati. It's a whole thing. Yes, he made a post or something that said, I didn't know people were this stupid. This makes me so much more afraid for humanity that everyone is this stupid. Or something like that. I'll find it and put it up on the screen. Oh, Lord.
So he confirms that he was at these places, or it's no reason to think that that was a imposter or replicant of.
Yes, not a clone. Not an Illuminati clone. Although that's what an Illuminati clone would say.
Indeed.
And that does it for another episode of However
No,
What?
sorry, but I'm not letting the Scott Galloway thing go. Rolled clip.
Really?
I don't listen to Jonathan Haidt every day. I don't live and breathe and would pay to see him live. Kind of yeah. Scott Galloway is my boyfriend.
Yes, okay, you're right. I apologize. I will never get that mixed up again, Jack Brett.
That is all I ask. Well, we're gonna leave it there for now.
However, we will never stop trying to come to an understanding.
Or better yet, an agreeance.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching. And hey, if you want to check out the Unlimited Tangents version of our conversation, link is in the description.
Yes, and if you want to see us bring some steel to a particular topic, let us know in the comments.